Hello, everybody. How are you doing? How are you doing? This is Mr. S. Anthony Thomas. This is the S. Anthony Thomas Show. Thank you for stopping back. All new shows starting now, my friends. I'm going to call this episode Old Guy Pains, and I'll explain to you why it's called that over the course of this episode, my friends. Have you been watching the Olympics? Have you been watching the artistry of these Olympic athletes? Have you been watching the amazing Simone Biles? Have you been watching her? I realize now that I'm an older guy. Now, granted, I already knew that because, I know how old I am, but it's a little bit different now because I realize I watch the Olympics a little bit differently, actually a lot more differently than I did 30 years ago, or maybe even 40 years ago. I know how I watched the Olympics a little bit differently than I did then. We're not going to talk about when I was a little kid because you were just happy to be watching something. You're seeing a bunch of people doing some cool things on TV. That's fantastic. It's great. This is awesome. Fantastic. Then you turn around 15 years old. 15. You're a 15-year-old boy. And all of a sudden, the only thing you're paying attention to, you don't give a crap about none of that other crap. The only thing you're paying attention to is female gymnastics and female volleyball and female swimming. You don't give a crap about anything. Also female track and field. Why? Because there's beautiful women with perfect athletic bodies and you're a 15-year-old boy and you can't take your eyes off the screen. Wow. Right? And I remember when I was 15 years old, I'd see all these beautiful ladies with their fantastic figures. And I'm 15 and I'm going, man, I wish I had a girlfriend like that. Man, I wish I had a girlfriend like that. Man, I wish I had a girlfriend like that. Right? Some time passes. And now you're 19, 20 years old. And guess what? That's how old the athletes are in the Olympics. You see some of these Olympic athletes, these gymnasts, and they're 20 years old. And you're 20 years old. And by this time you're 20 years old, you ain't fantasizing about doing stuff. You've already been doing it for a while, right? And now when you look at these women in their outfits in the Olympics, you're starting to think about other stuff. And I'm not going to say what you were thinking, but I know you know what you're thinking at 20 years old when you see beautiful, athletic 20-year-old women. You know what you're thinking. Oh yeah. Some more time passes and now you're 25 years old, right? You're 25 years old and you're watching all of the Olympics, right? But you're still watching the women's gymnastics, and you're saying, instead of thinking like the 15-year-old, instead of thinking like the 20-year-old, you're thinking like a 25-year-old. You have a fully formed brain and you're going, man, those ladies are fantastic. You know you're not going to meet any of them, but you're starting to go, man, those ladies look great. Then you hit 30, and then you hit 40, and it goes on. And I realize that I'm a different human being now than I was then, because I'm watching the female U.S. gymnastics team. I'm watching the beautiful Simone Biles do her thing. And you know what the first thing I thought of when I looked at her? I thought, man, I would be so proud if I had a daughter like her. That's right. A beautiful young woman on the screen, fantastic figure, gorgeous smile, very smart, sweetheart of a woman. And instead of being like the younger version of me where I would be standing in front of the screen with a mop to catch the drool off of the floor, I'm thinking about how proud her parents must be and how proud I would be if I was her parent. And that's one of the ways you realize, and it solidifies that you, my friend, are an old guy. And it pains you. It hurts. Not that you want to go back to being an open lust object. And it's not like I don't get it on, but it's just that I don't think about things the same way. Oh. That's one of the things that let you know you're getting older and why it sucks to get older, because you think about things differently. Like right now. I have a couple of acute injuries. I'm not going to say how it happened, the gym, but, right? But my lower back is hurting a little bit and my shoulders are hurting a little bit, right? My neck is a little bit stiff, right? And I remember I didn't get this kind of pain when I was working out 30 years ago. I would do the same type of workout and then I would be a little bit stiff and then that would be it. It would not be a big deal. It would not be, oh, you wouldn't make that sound. I never made this sound. I never made that. Well, okay, I made that sound, but there was usually a naked woman around. But I'm talking about just walking around the house, right? Where something starts to hurt out of nowhere. Right? Your shoulder's not hurting right now. Everything's good. Then you reach up to grab a plate. Not a problem. Now, as you're bringing the plate down out of the cabinet, oh, where'd that come from? And then when the arm gets a little lower, it's back to normal. What the heck is that? Your back is feeling fine. Everything's great. You just picked up something really heavy and you lifted with your knees. You lifted with your knees and you everything's fantastic. And there's no problem. You sit down on the couch, you turn on Netflix or whatever and you're watching some crap and everything's great. Let me go. Oh man, I can't believe I brought my sandwich to the table. Got my pickle, my sandwich, my chips. I forgot my soda. You get up out of the chair to get your soda. Oh, your lower back reminds you that you're not 20 years old anymore. Your lower back's like, oh, he's having a good day. I can't let that happen. Gotta hurt him. Gotta hurt him. Oh, your lower back's a piece of crap, but it brings to you what I like to refer to as old guy pains. That's right. Right as you head towards the refrigerator, your back's hurting, and then it stops hurting. And you're looking there, you're sitting there, what was hurting? Well, I'm just glad it's not hurting anyone. Not a problem. You open the refrigerator, you use your left arm. Uh-oh, that's the arm with the bad shoulder. Oh, that hurts. But when you close the door, it doesn't hurt anymore. You walk back to sit in the chair. You sit back in the chair, gingerly hoping you won't hurt your back. Your back's fine. You go, let me see. You jump out of the chair. Oh, my back's okay, right? You take the soda, you put it to your mouth with your left hand. Not a problem. Okay, fantastic. Everything's great. Oh, pulled muscle in your left calf. You didn't even do anything. But your left calf goes, I need to be a part of this party. Y'all are all getting to hurt him. I got to get some of that myself. Right? And you rub that big knot out of your left calf, right? And unfortunately, you have to use both of your hands, which means your left shoulder's like, I'm going to assume this is an invite to the party for me. Yeah. And then your shoulder starts hurting and because your calf is down there, you got to bend over to get it. And your lower back goes, hey, I'm back. I just had to go to take the little bathroom break. So now your arm's hurting, your shoulder's hurting, your back's hurting, and you're kind of squeezing this gigantic Charlie horse out of your left calf. Finally, the left calf calms down, right? It's like it left the party early because it had something else to do. And the lower back got a call from his wife. He's got to go back too. The shoulder's single. He's going to hang around for a while and hurt you for a little while. And then eventually after a while, you're watching what's left of the movie and you forget about your shoulder and it stops hurting. Ooh. But that's what the old guy pains are. Like sometimes you'll see an old guy who's whatever your age is, and this guy's in the best shape in the world. He's got the body of somebody who's 26 years old, 6-pack, quadruple pack, the sculpted pecs with the arms, the thing, and all of that crap. And the first thing you're thinking is he's on steroids. Well, guess what? Even if he is, he still looks better than you. You can't get in that kind of shape by just jumping in steroids. You still got to do the work. You still got to go to the gym, right? So stop hating. But you seen this guy jumping up on top of tires? Something you haven't done since 1986, right? You see this guy running at full speed. When's the last time you ran at full speed? Okay, that time one of your beers almost fell off the table when you popped it open. And guess what happened? That's right. You pulled a muscle in your left calf. Your shoulder started hurting. Your back started hurting. And for some reason, one of your buttocks cheeks started to hurt too. You're like, how the heck? You're not even the buttock. Why is my buttocks cheek hurting? And the other buttocks cheek goes, oh, we're hurting them now? So now both of your buttocks cheeks are hurting. So your buttocks cheeks are hurting. Your lower back's hurting. Your shoulder's hurting. What the heck is that? Then you drink the beer too fast. Now you got brain freeze. Everything's hurting. Your teeth are hurting. The brain freeze is hurting. Everything's hurting. Old guy pains. What the heck is going on? I remember when my grandnephew came over to visit. And I love the little guy, right? And I always play with the little guy, right? We run around the house. He does that thing where he pretends like he has a freeze ray and he freezes me. And for some reason, why does he always freeze me when I'm in the middle of walking someplace, like on my legs in the air, or if I'm bending over to pick up something, or if I'm some kind of awkward position? I'm starting to think that maybe my calf and my shoulder and my lower back texted him on his phone, hey, we'll give you some extra video games if you do something to your granduncle. What's that? Next time you go over there, wait until he's in an awkward position, and that's when you start playing the freeze ray game. And don't let him off the hook. In fact, freeze him and then run into the other room or watch cartoons. We'll give you 2 extra video games. I'm wondering where he got those video games from. Dagnabbit. But I'm playing the game with my grandnephew. And like I said, he freezes me in these awkward positions. And here's the thing. I think that my body parts, my shoulder, my lower back, my neck, all of that crap, they don't hurt me in front of my grandnephew. They really don't. It's almost as if they're going, it's almost like they're gang members. Back in the day, if you watch those old gang movies, like a gang member would see a guy walking with his wife or walking with his kid or walking with somebody who was innocent, and they go, no, guys. Put your guns down. We'll get them later. Because it was the code of the street back then, right? Nowadays, they just blow up the whole house. But we're talking about back then. And I'm starting to think maybe my body parts that were going to give me a hard time decided. No, he's with his grandnephew right now. Put the pain down. We'll get him later. Right? And I spend the whole day with my grandnephew, and like an idiot, I'm sitting there going, man, I was doing some really strenuous stuff. I was playing wrestling with the little man. We were out in the backyard throwing stuff around, right? I was carrying him around on my shoulders all day. He's laughing, pick me up, uncle. I'm walking around. He won't even let me put him down while I'm on the phone talking to people. He doesn't care because he's playing with a toy while holding the toy in his hand while I'm holding him in the air. And I'm thinking, I'm back, baby. I still got it. No, I don't. I should just be happy that I got a full head of hair and my you-know-what still works. You know what I'm saying? Man. His mother comes to get the little boy. I take the little boy off my shoulders. I had fun. And I said, yeah, great, you had fun, right? She goes, she takes him. Okay, thanks for watching him. No problem. Bring him over whenever you want. Just give me a heads up because I got to make sure I have like food for him because he doesn't want to eat the crap that I have to eat. Right, I have to get him like fish sticks and, meatballs, all that kid crap, extra fruit and all. I have to make sure that I have that stocked in the house before he gets there, because then I'm going to have to order that crap and it's going to cost me more. And that's it. So, okay, I'll give you a heads up. Fantastic. That's great. And he leaves. And as I'm walking back up the steps and I see them drive away, I hear little voices. Right? And where are those little voices coming from? They're coming from my neck, my shoulder, my elbow, my kneecaps, my left calf, my right calf. I'm hearing, I'm trying to make out what they're saying. I can't make out what they're saying, but I can hear a couple of those words, a few of those words. We're going to get him later. Get him good. We just gave him a break because his grandnephew was here, but he ain't here now. In fact, let's get him in the middle of the night. Let's wake him up with some pain. I'm like, oh no. Will they be mean enough to wake me up in the middle of the night? Ow! Left calf locks up. Ow! You jump out of bed real quick. You turn around to the floor. You reach over to deal with the calf muscle, right? And as you're squeezing the calf muscles, both your thumbs start to hurt. The back of your hands start to hurt. What the heck is this crap, right? Your lower back starts hurting again, right? Your neck starts to hurt because you were sleeping on a pillow the wrong way. Everything starts to hurt. The only thing that doesn't hurt right now is the thing that still works, thank goodness. That's the only thing that ain't hurting. Okay, it did kind of hurt because I rolled over. I went back on the bed, laid down, and rolled over on something, if you understand what I'm saying. And I can't blame that on old age. That was just an accident, okay? That's not a big deal. But those old guy pains will sneak up on you. right? It's one thing if you actually did something strenuous to cause the old guy pains. At the very least, you'd have a warning. I helped a young relative change her tire, and I had to be in a crouching position for a long period of time because somebody with an impact gun put the tire on. I guess they were expecting Superman from Krypton to come down and take the tire off, but eventually I got it off and got the tire fixed and all of that kind of crap. And I knew what was going to happen, because who sits in a crouching position and has to lift up these tires and take it off and line it up and all of that crap with no lights? I know what's coming. I know it's coming. I know it's coming. But unfortunately for me, I was just thinking about my lower back hurting. It never occurred to me that my hands and wrists would be hurting. I mean, why? Because I had to use insufficient tire iron to get off tires that were put on like they were expecting some super, like the Justice League of America to have to take these bolts off. And I woke up in the morning and my back was hurting, but I knew that was coming. But then I wanted to sit up on the bed. And you know, you sit up and you put your hands to the left and right of you to balance yourself on the bed. Well, normally that's not really that big of a deal. But when your hands feels like someone drove a car over them, it is that big of a deal. Oh. Relative called me the next morning to thank me again, and I almost got, well, no problem. Hey, you know, it is what it is, right? That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm all here for. Hung the phone up, and all I could think of was, why? Because both of my hands were hurting, my lower back was hurting, and all of a sudden, both of my feet go, hey, can we get some of that? They started hurting. Both of my calves were like, you know the drill, man. And they started hurting. My neck started hurting. All of that crap. Why? Old guy pains. So what I will say to you, because I know about a third of my audience is very young, this is your future 30 years from now, punks. You're next. Enjoy your youth while you got it. Now, being an old guy is not that big of a deal. Like I said, you know what still works, thank God. But what I'm saying is, it's not that bad. You just have to prepare yourself. Right? Eat the right foods, exercise, right? Make sure you do some stretching. Get into the habit of stretching now, because you want to be stretching because you want to stretch, not stretching because you don't want to wind up having a Charlie horse in both legs while you're driving on the freeway. You don't want that. You don't want old guy pains. Well, as it turns out, you're going to get old guy pains whether you want them or not, but you want to minimize old guy pains, right? You want to get to the point where maybe just one body part attacks you at a time. If it was just my calf muscle occasionally, not a problem. If it was just my shoulder occasionally, no big deal. If it was just my lower back after I do something strenuous, not a problem. But when they gang up on you, when they hide in an alley, right? So you're walking down an alley, hey, this looks safe. And then down in the alley, hiding behind the trash cans, or both your calf muscles, your buttocks, cheek, your lower back, sometimes even your lower abs, your elbows, your shoulders, your hand, they're sitting there going, there he is right there. Ha ha. He thought he was slick he was going to go do some stuff that was strenuous and then go to the gym on the same day. Oh, knock out those street lights and turn those security cameras the other way. We gonna get them good. And you get it, and they give it to you good. You wake up the next day feeling like somebody beat you with a bag of nickels. Yeah, that's right. So take good care of yourself, my friends. That's why I'm in the process now of doing some stuff to get myself back in shape so I don't have to deal with that crap ever again. Or at the very least, like I said, minimize that crap, because I want to minimize my old guy pains. My friends, this has been episode number 185 of the S. Anthony Thomas Show. Thank you for coming back. Young people, you know what to do. I just told you what to do. Old people, there's no hope for you. You dealing with what I'm dealing with right now. So let's just all decide to take better care of ourselves so we can limit this crap, okay? Cool. Folks, if you love this show, and you do me a favor and review this show. Rate this show 5 stars, please, if you love this show. And you do me a favor and tell a friend about this show. If you love this show And you do. Realize that this is the sister show of my original podcast that's still around. And in October, that podcast will be 11 years old. That's right. It'll start growing hair on its top lip soon. That's right. And it's called S. Anthony Says. I would suggest that you listen to both podcasts. Subscribe to both podcasts. Oh, yeah. And if you want to know why I am on social media, all you have to do is Google my name, S. Anthony Thomas, and you will see all the stuff I do. Okay? Much love to you all, my friends. I will see you again next time. Take care.